Well, one of the records I picked up was this reissue of Electric Spanking War Babies by Funkadelic. It's an album that I don't really know too much about from the whole P-Funk arsenal, but I do know that there's a track on here called Bettino's Bounce that is quite electronic for a Funkadelic P-Funk George Clinton production. I actually caught wind of Bettino's Bounce from a Kings of Techno compilation that BBE Records put out, and I thought it was pretty interesting, so I said, you know, I better get this album. Another record I've been trying to get for a while, this came out last year, 2015, Gary Clark's last LP, The Story of Sonny Boy Slim. I actually had the opportunity to meet and spin between Gary Clark Jr. and Stevie Wonder at the Super Bowl about 2 years ago, and he had both Gary Clark and Janelle Monáe as openers. So that blew my mind. Watching him perform was incredible. Like, he's definitely a prodigy, and I don't think he gets as much credit as he should as a musician. I think he should be much bigger, but I'm a fan, so gotta check this out. I have to get it. Now, this record is a 12-inch from '83 by a group called Surface. This is a repress. Salsoul has been bought and sold quite a few times. You know, Salsoul doesn't normally look like this. This is like a black label. It's, you know, it used to have rainbow and clouds on it or whatever, but this record, I own the original 12-inch. I'm buying this reissue because I need a clean copy. But I was always intrigued about this group because I remember Surface from this recording in '83, and this is like a, you know, post-disco, what they call boogie these days. A few years later, they came back out as an R&B group, and they had like some really big radio hits. One called Happy, Only You Can Make Me Happy.
Only you can make me happy.
The female vocal just disappeared, and they became this household R&B band, you know, household name that everybody knew those records that they made in the mid-'80s. But I love this track. This is a real good dance floor record, a real mellow vibe, but still get the little booty shaking on the dance floor. It's all good. So a lot of people probably know by now that I'm a huge Stevie Wonder fanatic. You know, been doing the Wonderful Parties forever. And I collect everything, anything that has his name on it. And I read a book, and in the back of the book, it had a discography for Stevie. And this song by Betty Wright, What Are We Going to Do With It, was listed. And I had never heard it before. I didn't know anything about it. And I said, you know what? I have to go find this.
What are you gonna do with it when you get it, babe? Will you mistreat my love? What are you gonna do with it when you get it?
So every time I see it, I buy it, you know, just to have more than one copy. Stevie Wonder is incredible. He's just wrote and produced for so many people, and it seems like it just never stops. You know, you're always finding new things, new old things, you know. So I'm also a big Brazilian music collector on the soulful side of things, the psych rock, the soulful stuff. And I learned about this box set, which is a collection of rare funk and soul singles. I have a lot of the albums of the artists that are on this box, but I'm also into 7-inches and 45s. This box seems to have a lot of tracks that were never released as 7-inches. So when I do my 45 sets, this will come in very handy. Some real heavy, funky pieces in here. And another box set that I picked up is the illustrious Brunswick label released this intense box. What sells this box for me is a track by Movie Night and Universal Lady, Love Maniacs.
Sex, it goes on everywhere. Let me suck it to you, a little sexy to you.
This Love Maniacs track was never a 7-inch. For the B-boys and the B-girls and the DJs that's been rocking breaks for a long time, that's definitely a plus. There are tracks in here that were 7 inches, like Are You My Woman by the Shy Lights, which was sampled by Beyonce for Crazy in Love. That actual original 7-inch is pressed on styrene vinyl, which burns. Like, you can't back cue it because the stylus will wear the grooves out. So to have that on this box, that's another selling point because DJs, it's a breakbeat, a lot of funk guys and hip hop cats want that record so they can cut it up or whatever. So to have it on this box is cool. But there's also some other great things in here, the standard stuff like Soulful Strut by Young Heart Unlimited, and the vocal version of that by Barbara Acklin, or Am I the Same Girl, which is like a real vintage Northern Soul kind of record, and it's definitely something worth picking up. So Son and Star on Daptone Records.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
We had an audition for Mr. Daptone?
Yeah.
Okay, what are your names?
I'm Son.
And I'm Star.
Sean and Star?
No. Don't you know who we are? We sang backing vocals for Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings for 5 years.
Yeah.
I love this label, Daptone, spearheaded by my boy Gabe, aka Bosco, the home of Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings. And I have a 7-inch, Look Closer. That track to me is amazing. It's one of the most deep funk soul records, newly recorded but sounding vintage, that I've heard in a long time. It's a great song, great vocals. What else is there? I'm gonna give away a little B-boy secret. This record by Cerrone, Look for Love, is a very popular B-boy break, popular amongst disco DJs as well. And it's a 7. And the break is really dope, and it's on this 45. Sometimes they edit the breaks out of the 7 inches. And this is the last one I'll talk about. Michael Jackson, Rock With You on a promo single. So this record never came out as a retail 12.
Feel that heat, and we can ride the boogie. Share that beat of love. I wanna rock with you.
12 inches is special because of the wide range of audio fidelity that you get on the grooves. Albums are squished, the grooves are smaller. But as a DJ, when you play album cuts on turntables on a really pounding sound system, you get feedback. DJs always wanted to have that album cut or whatever on a 12, so this never came out commercially. To my knowledge, it's always been pretty tough to get. Today it was on the wall for 25 bucks, and I had to do it because I often see it go for more. Obviously, at one point, this was free because it's a demo record, but that's the price you pay sometimes when you're collecting. You just gotta bite the bullet and shell out if you really want that extra special piece. This classic. This will never die. I don't care how tired you are of hearing like big hit records, but on the dance floor, never fails. Rock with you.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, I think that was cool.
Amoeba.